Hey y'all, boy, I like that site right there. The old cream, zipper creams popping out the ground. Won't be long, they'll be about knee high. I believe those zipper creams. I'm wrong. Those are purple hulls, excuse me. Zipper creams are up yonder. But we're getting a lot of good sprout and a little balance there. It's been on my mind a little bit the last few weeks about balance and how sometimes we can get out of balance. And obviously with those sprouting, everything was balanced for it to come on up. The pastor was talking about balance last night. Reminded me of an old story. And got to be careful about getting sideways if you don't have yourself in order. I'm talking to myself too. But between an old farmer and a baker, they'd been trading butter for bread for a while. And one day the old baker bought him a pound of butter from the farmer and gave him his bread and went on his way. And he got back to his little bakery there. Decided he's going to weigh that pound of butter, make sure that farmer wasn't cheating him. So he put it on his fancy weight there, and his scale came up a little short. He got mad and took the old farmer to court. Day came, and the judge called him up there and asked the farmer to explain himself and why he was shorting that baker on that butter. Asked him, did he have a proper measure and was it calibrated? He said, well, sir, you see, I've been trading with that baker a long time before I sold him butter. I'm kind of a simple man and don't have a fancy scale, but I do have a weigh scale. And every day when the baker comes with the pound of bread that he's selling me, I give him that same weight back in butter. So I guess the problem was the baker's measure after all. It's good to have things in balance. I think I've got out of control on these potato hills. They look like Egyptian pyramids out here. A couple of different schools of thoughts on how many times you can hill potatoes. I think I'm about done. They're going to start popping out the edge if I'm not careful. That was words of wisdom from my aunt. But I'll have to try an old trick I read. Some of y'all may be privy to it, but take an old tire and put potato vine in there, and as it grows, fill it up with more dirt and another tire, and just keep on stacking. And then when you're ready to start pulling them down, there's potatoes at every level. That's pretty incredible. But I don't know, that's a lot of taters. But we've had a good day on the place. My sister and I have got a pretty special bond, as most siblings tend to do if you try. And now don't get me wrong, we fought like cats and dogs growing up. But she's a pretty special person to me, and we have a lot of laughs and a lot of good times. She's a second grade teacher down in Woodlands. Most of you know that follow along. She's got a master's degree in library sciences and does a great job with those kiddos. Well, her and I got to scheming, and we're of course I enjoy passing a little knowledge along, even though I'm silly and can be that way. So we're doing a weekly video that we'll share on our YouTube. If you want to go watch it, it may not be worth anything to you, but talking to her second grade class about whatever subject they're learning that week in their homeroom, and having a lot of fun with that. So kids get a kick out of seeing the farm life and the chickens, and we try to tie it into real world examples. So having a good time with that. Whatever you do, if you stop by, do not pull that black tart back. That's compost tea, and it's rank. Rank, I tell you. I found that out this afternoon. I'll have to get a hazmat suit to put that stuff on. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Looking forward to it. It's getting busy around here. Now, I do want to talk about this sprout issue, the marigold debacle, I guess I could call it. So if y'all watched a few videos back, I planted, supposedly, marigolds. I've got to clarify this. Every 50 foot on my pea rows to help attract the ladybugs, which I'm already starting to see some ladybugs, by the way. That's a good thing. But come to find out, they were tomatoes. I got all kind of discombobulated, blamed it on my sister. It wasn't her fault. But just for clarity, all you botanists out there, now first of all, I was putting in the sprouts way early and taking the risk of them dying. They really wasn't ready to set. But I was watching them close. But this is the stage that I put them in the ground in. Is that a tomato or a marigold? So for all you smarty pants out there, no, I'm kidding. I didn't know. Even at this stage, it looks, that's a tomato, but it's got serrated leaves. It could be a marigold. Anyway, teach me to manage my flats a little bit better, or maybe wait till it gets old enough to tell what it is. That's probably the better plan when it's supposed to go in the ground. But I was rushing it. The benefit of that is I have some healthy tomato plants out there in the garden that I transplanted over to where they belong, and they're well on their way to making maters. My chickens went on strike. I think I know what's going on. Had 14 eggs today. No, it wasn't another snake. These big old white chickens, now they were bred to die. And don't blame me, blame yourself. We all buy them at the store. It's part of it. But we took them and they're doing good. They lay. But the problem with it is they do not forage. And I had them kind of separated off in the back and kind of decided to let them out a little bit. And I've noticed when they're out with the main chickens, production goes down. And a lot of it's due to, I think, the food consumption, because they're huge. They're 2 to 3 times the size of these other hens. Them hens ain't gonna mess with them. So they just hog all the food. But we'll figure out a balance. I guess we just have to have separate eating quarters. It seems to work out the best when I got them on their own feed plan. They do a little bit better and produce some eggs. They do produce some big old eggs. I've got one in there. This is gonna be something if this happens. I'm not sure, because I've never had one do this, but I've read about it. I think she's broody, and it's one of these big old white ones that wasn't even supposed to live past 2 months old. But we'll see. She's sitting on a nest in there. I'm gonna leave her alone. So maybe that's, hey buddy, maybe that's my incubator I didn't get. It came in a different route. But that's gonna be something if that old broiler chicken hatches out an egg or two. We'll see. She's been in there 2 or 3 days. She may just be hiding out. I don't know. But I'm gonna watch her close. Ben's Leghorn's doing good. A little update on those. They're about as tall as that coop is tall, so I think I'm about to have to move them into their big home in the back. A little worried about their size. They're good enough, but that chicken snake as big as that one was, hope that's the biggest one on the place. I know we'll have a few more, but he'd make quick work of these biddies right now, so I'm a little nervous about putting them out in the open range right now. But we'll work through it. Jordan and I have concocted a plan on capturing this rain. Well, we capture the rainwater, and of course it always overflows. Don't have enough things to put it in while it's going on. And I've got an old vat. Got to do a little research on what was in it. I'm sure it was chemical, so I'm gonna have to do a little Googling and searching out. But if it works out, we'll have a say. Took one of them old feed stands, and we'll use a pulley that I got and put that thing on top of it and hold that rainwater. And I think it's probably 500-gallon tanks. That'll be quick access for just different non-potable water needs around the house. So that can't hurt, can it? But it's been a good day. Got out there in the pine straw this morning for my aunt and make quick work of getting some mulch for her. I think Memaw planned it just right. She planted all them pine trees and they've already harvested. But my uncle that owns the place, of course, sold the back part of it for the timber. But there's about three rows of pines on this side of the fence that are producing just enough pine straw for our needs here. I've already got some of the watermelons mulched out there. And I've been battling those trees, taking the canopy up. I call them tiller killers because they got big old thorns on them, these pneumatic tires on this tiller, or a tractor for that matter. It'd make quick work of that. But we're getting it cleaned up little bit by little bit. Hope y'all have had a good week. Let me do a roll call. I'll sound off. And got any questions about these plants? Corn is doing great. I'm about to go through and thin everything. I had 100% germination just about. Put 2 seeds and got 2 sprouts. So downside of that is I got to cull it just so we get more of it. But oh, that's what I was gonna. I got a question. A buddy of mine posted this picture, and I've got a bunch of them in the yard, and I mentioned them on a video the other morning. See all you flower aficionados. Now, Mima called them 4 o'clocks, and I'll tell one on myself on this one. I remember when she told us what they were, I'd catch myself out there right around 4 o'clock seeing if they'd open up. I don't know why they named them that. And I looked a little bit around, and I don't think that's, I think that's what the East Texas name for them is, but there's another variety that they call 4 o'clocks. Y'all gonna know it when you see it, you probably already do. But I mowed around them the other morning because they're pretty purple flowers. They're open at sunrise and they close up at sunset. So if y'all know what those are, we call them 4 o'clocks. I was sure disappointed when they didn't open at 4 o'clock like Mama said they would. They're closed now, but in the morning there'll be a nice pretty purple flower on them. I know y'all probably have them in your yard if you're in East Texas anywhere. So maybe somebody can sound off of what those are. Doesn't really matter, they're gonna stay there either way. Until I get tired of them and they get dead, and then I'll mow them and they'll be up next year. Let me see who all's on here real quick and we'll call it a night. My coffee cup count I think is up to 4. Got the world's worst habit of coffee and taking off out here and getting distracted, setting it down and having to go get another one. That goes all day long. I'm a mess like that, I guess. 4's not too bad. Let's see here. Carrie's in Midland, Texas. How are you, sir? Let's see. There's Margaret up and down in San Antonio. Mr. Ray, how are you, buddy? Going to make a trip up here and help me pull watermelons before too long, or peas or something. We're gonna have a passel of them for sure. I tell you what, I broke up that okra patch, or what's gonna be the okra patch today, and I figured it'd be easy work. I mowed it, and all this tilling I done went pretty smooth. But boy, I tell you what, I couldn't take one pass across that thing for the roots. Had to stop, get all the roots out of the tiller and hit it again. So that little old okra patch ain't no bigger than a minute, but it's giving me the fits, I'm telling you. I don't know if I ever get all them roots out of there. I may just have to grow it on the roof where there's some dirt or something. That okra grows pretty easy. I ain't giving up on it, but I ain't gonna battle with it long. I'll find a little smoother patch of ground. We got them colored carrots to put in. See if we can grow some purple carrots. How about that? Who knows? There's Joanne. How are you? It has been productive. That's a word for it. I could say that. There's Miss Kathy. That's right about swapping the tags. Yeah, that's all right though. Sisters have the right to do what they want, I guess. At least I've learned that that's usually the easiest path to go. You're better off just letting it alone. But I gave her grief, so I had to correct it. There's Connie from Blacksburg, South Carolina. Miss Rita's checking in from Douglasville, Georgia. How are you? Miss Becky, thank you. Hope you have a great week as well. Brenda's from Beckville. She checks in quite regular. Knew my mom and papa well. Good to see you. There's my Aunt Bonnie. She can't hear me. Maybe she can see me. She'll see this on the YouTube here in a minute. Got to visit with her, and I'll tell you, we had a little sandwich. Now, I think Aunt Bonnie, she's that aunt that has the, I'll always remember about her. She could have nothing on the stove. She can set a world record for putting a meal together. I mean to tell you, you tell her you want something to eat, and it's on the table set, all the niceties, everything's done in 10-15 minutes. She got it done. So you even breathe, you're hungry, and you're going to have a spread pretty quick, because Aunt Bonnie knows how to whoop that stuff together. Lisa, I don't know if those are morning glories or not. If they are, that'd be kind of a wild version. They're not the morning glories I remember. I remember a vining morning glory. That's what I got planted on the end of that chicken house. But they could be. I'm not sure. Bluegrass, well, they've got a flower. I don't know if that's bluegrass. Who knows? I'm sure we'll find out. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. Sandra from Seminole, Florida, checking in. There's Miss Kathy. And Don's in Muskegon, Michigan. There's my buddy Melinda, all the way from Oregon. Man, I'm on a streak now. I think it's because she's throwing it out there so I know what it is. That little red wagon that she was nice enough to put on the farm here, it sure made short work of going up and down these rows. I'd have been tugging a box or something with all my stuff in it. Them wheels make it nice, I'll tell you. Let's see here. There's Gail from Florida. Debbie, good to get a little rain for the garden. Summer comes, we'll be begging for rain, all right. That's why I'm wanting to store it up right now. might need a little drink along the way. I don't mind taking a bucket out there for the plants. And Linda says her mom's the same way about fixing food, enough for 50 people. That's right. And Aunt Bonnie always has the coolest stuff. You know, it's not just your normal sandwich stuff. If you're having a sandwich, it's the salami or the pepperoni or the black olives and spinach. I mean, it's the good stuff. It's not just mustard and ketchup. It's always good stuff. Anyway, that's just her. All right, we're gonna call it an evening, and I'm gonna get off these barking dogs I've got, and hope for a little rain this weekend. It's supposed to be some Saturday, but be a good day. Y'all choose to make a difference around you and smile and celebrate the good stuff. Be all right. Be the light. Y'all have a good evening.